Hello, my lovely friends. I hope you are doing great. In today's class, we're going to talk about a very, very common and popular topic for the IELTS test, both writing and speaking, which is environment. So, you know, the environment, a lot of ideas about it, but this can result in many different topics that you are or you're not prepared for. So, in today's class, we're gonna explain and discuss different kinds of ideas so that if it is one of the topics that you're going to talk about or write about on your test day, you're totally well prepared for that. So before getting into that, I would like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and support me for the upcoming videos like this one as well. Thank you. So let's get started. Environment. The first topic, which is very important, is global warming. Cases such as carbon dioxide trap heat from the sun, trap heat, so somehow just gets it into the very specific place. So we say trap. So sometimes, for example, when you want to do something and you're like not completely sure, you can say, is it a trap or can I rely on that? So you can say something like that as well. This causes global temperatures to rise. So take a look at this because it's a very good way of just giving the reference, which is one of the parameters for getting a score of 7 and higher. So if you need to get such high band scores, you need to learn how to give references. This causes, this causes, I remember to add S because if not, I would lose some scores if specifically it gets repeated all the time. Global temperatures to rise. We don't say raise here, rise. This process is known as the greenhouse effect. So here you've got the definition of the greenhouse effect. Very beautifully, it has been defined. Human activity is a major factor in the rise of the greenhouse gases. Here we are talking about the role of human activity in this phenomenon. So human activity is a major factor. If I say one, I need to say human activity is one of the major actors. You need to be super careful of the differences here. In the rise of the greenhouse gases, factories and vehicles produce emissions and exhaust fumes. So here we are talking about this topic, and remember to be careful of the spelling of emissions because it's got double S and exhaust fumes. By knowing and practicing these vocabulary and phrases, you are totally prepared for the topic. And because this vocabulary and the words and ideas are somehow more difficult and challenging, we need to work on them beforehand. Because if you are not prepared, it's very challenging and frustrating to wrap your head around the topic at the very specific moment of doing the test. So I wouldn't suggest you doing that at all. And let's move to the next part. Many developing countries are becoming industrialized. So developing countries, not developed countries. So those countries which are developing themselves. So they are becoming. Why? Because it is happening right now or recently around the topic of talking about this. This is happening around now. The number of cars on the streets is growing. The number of cars, and then the verb that agrees with the subject needs to be singular. The number of cars on our streets is, not are. Cheap air travel is allowing more people to fly. Cheap air travel is allowing, again, present continuous or present progressive. Moving on to the next part, in which we're going to talk about this topic, effects of global warming. So, what are the effects? Global warming will have a significant impact on our planet. So, we are talking about future and we are giving you a prediction. That's why I'm using will have a significant impact on. Remember to have a, you can say significant, vital, unimportant, anything. Impact on something or somebody. Rising temperatures will cause melting of the polar ice caps. So here still we are using the will because we are predicting something that is going to happen in the future. We are not sure, but we are making some assumptions and predictions. Sea levels will rise. We can expect more extreme weather conditions. Definitely. Can you make it as a passive voice sentence as well? Like now it is an active format, but can you change it into a passive format? Weather conditions, what? More extreme weather conditions can be expected or will be expected like that. Flooding and droughts may become more common. So these are some natural disasters that might happen because of the global warming. So let's move to the next topic, impacts of humans on the environment. So now we have just talked about global warming and other things related to that. Now we want to talk about the role and the impact of humans on the environment, which is not going to be that much pleasant, unfortunately, but this is the way it is. The increasing world population is putting pressure on natural resources. So, because of our population as a pollution, sorry. So, the increasing world population, we are getting more and more on this planet Earth, and that's why we are just putting a lot of pressure on natural resources. Imagine in the, for example, 10 years from now, the population is going to increase more and more, and we have a lot of other needs as well, requirements like food requirement. That's why the environment and natural resources are always under a lot of pressure from the human side. Fossil fuels like oil and gas are running out. Running out means they are finishing. So we don't have a lot left. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels should be really learned correctly because not only will you need that to be used for your writing, speaking, sometimes these words are used in your listening. So you need to be super careful of the spelling so that if they are used in your listening and you're supposed to write them down, you know how to spell it because nothing really could be bitter and more hurtful than getting the word from the audio file, but making a mistake while spelling that. It is really, really hurtful. And when it happens, you really are heartbroken. So, in order to avoid it, you need to be super attentive and careful of the words that are very common to be used in your IELTS listening as well. We are destroying wildlife habitats. So we are destroying wildlife habitats. So wildlife habitats is about the place where the wildlife reside in. We have cut down enormous areas of rainforest. So cut down the trees, cut down the areas of rainforest. So unfortunately, we are destroying forests and rainforests and jungles. This has led to the extinction of many species of animals and plants. This, which one? The previous idea, cutting down enormous areas of rainforest. So remember, it is a very nice way of giving a reference to the previously mentioned idea. This has led to, I used a present perfect here because I don't have any specific time phrase. That is the best place to use this grammatical tense to show off my grammatical knowledge of tenses. This has led to the extinction of many species, many different types of animals and plants. Okay, so as we have talked about the impacts of humans on the environment, now we can start talking about the next topic, which is about the solution that we can provide for these mentioned problems. So the first topic, the first idea, governments could introduce laws to limit emissions from factories. So nobody can deny the role of governments because they've got the authority, they've got the power, so they really need to take care of the environment. They could invest in, remember to use invest in, it's not invest on, invest in renewable energy from solar, wind, and water power. So, renewable energy, as the name suggests, and it is somehow self explanatory, it renews itself. It's not like the fossil fuel. So, they can recharge themselves like the energy that you get from the sun, wind, or even water. They could impose green taxes on drivers and airline companies. So, in order to encourage people not to use fossil fuels or those kind of things which are considered to be harmful for the environment, some sorts of green taxes should be imposed. Government campaigns should promote recycling. So people should be invited and motivated to take recycling more seriously and frequently. Natural areas, natural areas and wild animals should be protected. Of course, they should be protected, which means that hunting, illegal hunting should be definitely called illegal and prohibited. Individuals should also try to be greener. So, what does it mean? Can you guess what it means? Greener? It means they should be involved into gardening and planting and anything relates to having a, let's say, more um, environmentally friendly space for all of us. We should take fewer flights abroad for our holidays. So this step is a very big one, but those people who are really involved and considerate of the environment have taken some very serious actions like that. So they don't take the flights just for fun anymore, and they just do that when it is really necessary. We should take public transport rather than driving. Of course, it is the very important step in protecting the environment more than before because I think the majority of countries and cities provide the public transport, even though they might not be as comfortable as the personal cars. We should definitely start using them more frequently and regularly. We should choose products with less packaging, definitely. So, in order to protect and safeguard the environment and avoid producing a lot of garbage and trash, we should start using less packaging. Sometimes you can order to have a less packaging receipt, like the Amazon or some sort of companies. I think you can mention that you don't wish to receive a lot of plastic bags and stuff, and they would definitely listen to you. We should recycle as much as possible. So I know that in most countries, especially the developed countries, it's a law to do so, and you don't have any other option way around. But I think in most developing countries or less developed countries, it has not reached that position yet. But those individuals who are really considerate and careful of the environment and they want to play their own part in protection of the environment, they can definitely start recycling in order to protect their environment and have a better and a more beautiful and prosperous future for themselves and their children or other generations in the future. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed the first session of the environment, and we'll continue with the same topic with different subcategories in the upcoming videos. Do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next upcoming video. Take care.